And happy Wednesday to you. This is Brandon Neal, and this is the Be Progressive Show. Tonight, we are going to be taking a look at a couple of things that caught my attention today. We're going to start off with all the Trumpers' favorite news network, CNN. Communist News Network, I do believe they call it. And they are not going to like this little clip where CNN finally lays the smackdown on all the dumb maggots.
Trump derangement syndrome. That's what Trump defenders have accused his critics of having over the past 4 years. And it's a political diagnosis with some history behind it. Conservative columnist Charles Krauthammer coined the term Bush derangement syndrome back in 2003. Its successor, Obama derangement syndrome, often came in the form of calling that president a terrorist or a tyrant or a secret Muslim who wasn't born in America. But the term Trump derangement syndrome has taken on a new twist. Because those who might really be afflicted now are folks who simply can't accept the fact he lost the election. Patient zero is, of course, Trump himself, as a steady stream of unhinged tweets attest. But this is contagious, folks. Here's Fox's Maria Bartiromo yesterday.
An intel source telling me that President Trump did, in fact, win the election.
I wanted to talk about this yesterday. For one, Maria here has always been a Trumper. She's always been a Trump sycophant. She never questions him with any real, true, hard-hitting, questions or follow-ups. They're all softballs and just, typical Fox News, worthless so-called journalist. And she really hasn't gotten much right in a long time. So no surprise that she would come out and just blatantly say that there somebody in the, in her little source or deep state or whatever it is that she thinks she has told her that Trump won the election, which of course she's probably talking about General Flynn. Of course he's going to say that. But just ridiculous. Have some integrity.
Okay, it's worth pointing out the last supposed military intelligence expert secretly claiming to Trump won the election never actually worked in military intelligence. And that's just one of many absurd embarrassments from the legal stylings of Sidney Powell, which got so bad that even Trump cut her loose. No wonder his legal team has lost almost 50 cases to date.
Yep.
Just say no to Kraken, kids. But on Monday,
nice.
We saw Trump supporters cosplaying their own alternate electoral college ceremonies. The same day, White House sycophants hit the airwaves to lie fast and loud.
You have underage voters. You have voters with felony criminal records who are disqualified from voting in their states. You have non-residents. You have non-citizens. You have voters who are deceased. And I could go on.
Yes, Trump advisor Stephen Miller could go on, but there wouldn't be any point. Because even Trump-appointed judges have found that these and other claims have no basis in fact and law and are speculative accusations, unsupported by evidence. The bigger problem is that there's a strain of Trump derangement syndrome that's resulted in death threats getting leveled at election officials around the nation. It's even infected state GOP organizations. The Texas leader suggesting secession, and the Arizona GOP asking followers if they'd be willing to die in an effort to overturn election results.
That's pathetic.
If that isn't deranged, then I don't know what is. Democracy depends on an ability to reason together from a common set of facts. We're going to disagree on all kinds of things, but let's not disagree about whether the sky is blue or Joe Biden won the election. We can't have Republican officials saying they're going to fight in denial forever, like some holdout Japanese soldier decades after World War II. Except that's exactly what Congressman Paul Gosar compared himself to. So remember, COVID is real. The Kraken is not. And Joe Biden will be the 46th president of the United States. And that's your reality check.
Ooh, that will not set well with the MAGAs. Not gonna happen, folks. So anyway, I every now and then go down the rabbit hole of hashtag stop the steal on Twitter or some of these other MAGA Trumper hashtags, and I've been antagonized by these assholes for 4 years over Trump, and I literally just do nothing but antagonize these people now. That's all I do. I'm going to do it for probably till after the inauguration. And so, when you look through these through these tweets and you think, who are these people? Are there really this many people that believe that nonsense? I mean, is it just a small collection of people that are radical like that just happen to go to, they go to all the rallies and stuff, even not in their state, and they're loud, and it makes you think that there's a lot more of them than there really is. And then, you see these people dressing up and their flags and their just all the this stuff that this cult worship of Donald Trump. And it's amazing to me that these people exist, that they act like this, and then they won't believe, they won't accept results. What are you going to do? Like, it's over for you. Like, you need to, find a local copium den and spend a few days and calm down, because Biden's going to be sworn in on Inauguration Day, and that's going to be the end of that. So I don't know what to tell these people, but even when CNN lays a smackdown on you like that, you're probably in trouble. All right, the next thing I want to talk about here is our good old buddy Joel Olsteen. This topic just makes me furious. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in Christianity. I don't, believe in, I'm not a spiritual kind of person at all. I don't have a problem with people if that's what they want to believe and that's what they want to do. But I do have a real big problem with people like this, like Joel Olsteen, and what's that other turd's name, that Cresto Dollar or something. I don't remember that guy's name. And these people are they're scum. These people prey on people that are in need or that are seeking, mental help and spiritual help, and these people like Joel Olsteen prey on these people. And here he has taken $4.4 million in the PPP loans that were put into the COVID relief for small businesses, and Joel lives in a $11 or $12 million house, and we found out back in 2014 that when Joel Olsteen's church was robbed, apparently someone stayed after the Sunday service, and I think they made their bank deposits on Monday morning, and someone hid in the building and cleaned them out, and they got $600,000 just in cash, not to mention checks and credit cards and debit card transactions. That was just $6,000 in cash. So that dude was making probably $600,000-$700,000, if not more, in 2014 every week. And now it's 2020, almost 2021. That dude's pulling down $1 million a day or $1 million a week from his services. All you got to do is look at the size of his church and the amount of people that go. And these people are more than willing to open their wallet and give, to this guy. And he, during the hurricane, wouldn't let people. He had a huge building there in Houston, and he locked the doors. He wouldn't help anybody. It took the media pressure and a really bad PR for him to actually help out. And if you look at his actual charitable, foundations or whatever he has, his group, that does charity is very small compared to the amount of money that the man makes and flies around in his private jets. And, you're just being fleeced, people. Sometimes I really wish that I didn't have a conscience and I could do it, because, boy, it's easy to do. And this guy, he's the master at it. So I just can't stand people like him. And I think that every time we get a chance to examine these guys and put these guys in the spotlight and shine light on what they really do, and if they, how they actually hurt people and not help anyone, and see that this kind of nonsense needs to stop. And not to mention the money in taxes that are being avoided because of its, church. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm of the belief that every religious organization, every religious church in the country should be taxed, period. Pay your taxes. Especially these churches like Olsteen's and, one of these what's that crazy one? I have it. My father, unfortunately, watches all these guys. Pastor Hagee, I think, was one of them. He's the one that predicts the end of the world every couple of years that fails, and he just keeps doing it, and people just keep following him because they're crazy people. He has a huge mega church, and there's several of these people, and they're just fleecing people, man. They're just taking money out of these people's pocket, asking for 10% of their salary and all that. It's pathetic. So anyway, moving on here. I wanted to take a look real quick. I saw Ron Johnson get tore up here by Senator Peters, and I was going to play this for everybody. This was over the all of these people that are still backing Trump and still, trying to perform this coup, and he really lays into him here.
And despite the title of today's hearing, there were no widespread election irregularities that affected the final outcome. These claims are false, and giving them more oxygen is a grave threat to the future of our democracy. Now, I understand the chairman's desire to ensure our elections run smoothly, and I agree that we need to restore faith and trust in our election process. But I'm concerned that today's hearing will do more harm than good by confusing a few anecdotes about human error with the insidious claims the president has aired. Mistakes do happen in elections, but there is a difference between a clerk making an error that gets caught and corrected during routine audits and calling the entire election fraudulent or stolen when there is no evidence just because you do not like the outcome.
Oof.
Amplifying these obviously false narratives about fraud or irregularities corrodes public trust. It threatens national security, and it weakens our democracy and our standing around the world. Every time the president or his followers make these false claims, they destabilize our relationships with our allies and allow authoritarian adversaries to undercut American democratic leadership around the globe.
Damn right.
Democracy and a free society are not guaranteed. We have seen democracies around the world crumble because of similar words and actions. When executives abuse their power, when political leaders work to stifle the free press, and when they delegitimize the principle of one person, one vote, it puts our country on a dangerous path towards authoritarianism.
So there you go. We're sick to death of these Republicans that should know better. I don't expect the MAGA people, the diehard cultist Trumpers, to get this or to understand this or to do anything but what they're doing right now. But I do hold the Republican politicians who do know better, I hold them at a higher standard. And we should. And they are just acting almost no different really than the crazy Trump base with these 106 people that tried to support this Texas thing. And I'm sorry, but these people are it's seditious at the minimum. And they need to be taken care of. I'm sorry, they do. They need to be disciplined, and this kind of behavior just cannot stand. We just can't do it. And it's going to, like he said, it just is eroding our democracy. If you claim every single time that your candidate loses that the other side's cheated and it's a massive fraud. And this is something that you're going to try and get started here, and then it's going to some dumbasses on the left are going to start doing it when they lose. And then it's just going to, devolve from there. You have to realize when you've been defeated. I understand that Donald Trump doesn't want to, talk about that or accept the fact because he's making money off this. And he knows damn good and well he didn't win this election, and he sure didn't win it. It wasn't even close, and that there wasn't fraud. He fucking knows that. But he's making money off this, like we said. This is a grift. This is good money. He's going to continue this on. And he's even discussed, and I probably will do it, is he's going to have his first 2024 rally on Inauguration Day at the same time Joe Biden is sworn in. and that, you know, it's petty as can be. It's just anti-American. It's, you know, but that's Trump. That's who he's going to be. You elected him, Republicans. That's your monster. And your monster's tearing down Fox News. Your monster is tearing down some of your establishment candidates. He's tearing down your Republican governors. And you know what? That's a bed that you're going to have to lie in because you made this monster. And we just got to get rid of this guy. He's just like he just won't go away. And nor will Hillary Clinton. I was reading some of her tweets today. Go the fuck away, too. You both need to fuck off and go away, land. Because I'm just tired of hearing that crap from you people. And so, anyway, I saw that and I thought that was good. Let's take a look at the Republican losers list and see what we got here. We have some good people here. Oh, what does Rave Dubin have to say? Someone get this medical information to Dr. Jill Biden for her husband. Oh, my God. That's something we'll touch on. This whole doctor thing is ridiculous. It really is. And I don't like it, you know, one bit when people try. There are chiropractors, there are nurse practitioners. Nurse practitioners probably the worst at it. They go and get a doctorate degree, but they're already in the health field. So then they call themselves doctors. And then somebody that's actually looking for an MD or a DO who actually went to real medical school will see, oh, that's Dr. So-and-so. But she's actually a nurse practitioner that just has a doctorate degree in nursing. And so those cases, I completely understand that that's wrong and that's, you know, BS. My wife is a physician, so she hates, you know, that kind of thing too. But if you are a PhD in college and you're a professor and you could teach, I don't see anything wrong with that because you're not really confusing anyone by calling yourself doctor in your day-to-day profession. Now, of course, if she's going to get, you know, somewhere and brag about, constantly say doctor and all this or whatever, then yeah, I mean, there's a problem there. I kind of get that. But, you know, this is just something that they've tried to dig up some dirt on Jill Biden. They really couldn't find anything that was worth a shit. And so this stuck. And then some dumbass wrote that opinion piece about doctor and they jumped all over it. They don't really have anything on her. So they're probably, I don't really expect to see her attacked a whole lot. I mean, of course there will be, but it's all going to be Hunter and Joe this whole time. Andy, what is it? I don't know how this guy pronounces his name. He's a right-wing kind of fascist asshole. Andy Ngio or Ingio, I don't know how you pronounce that. He was the guy that somebody in the Antifa hit him with a concrete milkshake in the head at one of the rallies. Let's see what he has to say here. Yeah, he's always like looking for the right-wing spin of stories and things. He's a right-winger. He's a fascist. Good old Newsmax. I don't like Andrew Cuomo. I don't like that guy. I don't like the way he wrote a book in the middle of a pandemic talking about his wonderful leadership. Yeah, they're just going on and on about Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, Andrew Cuomo actually does kind of suck, so it's not like I'm going to defend the guy, but, you know, look at your own party. You got plenty of people that fucked up COVID a lot worse than he did. Donald Trump would be the first person to look at. Yep, Hannity thinks the mainstream media still seems to find all of Hunter's business irrelevant. So, and you know what? I'll talk about that for a minute because the whole Hunter Biden, Joe Biden thing, you won't maybe not hear a lot of other people on the left say this, but they're corrupt. I mean, that's just all there is to it. It's what the Republicans are. The thing is, what the Republicans are saying and going after Hunter Biden, there's facts there. They're not making that part up. There's not bullshit here. And, you know, the bitch of it is, it's just Joe Biden and Hunter Biden right now because they're president and they beat Trump, and so they're going to highlight that. But all of these politicians do this kind of thing, especially these entrenched politicians that have been in Congress for years and decades, like Pelosi and Schumer and Biden, and you know, these people that have been, they're corrupt, And it doesn't matter what side you're on. The Democrats are just as corrupt as the Republicans when it comes to a lot of these things. So yes, of course, I'm sure there's corruption there. I'm sure Hunter Biden was doing the wrong thing. I'm sure that he used his dad's power to get what he wanted and all that. And I hear you, Republicans. I don't disagree with you. And, you know, obviously, if you want to put that investigation together and you want to get proof to do that, you go right ahead. Because we did the whole Russia thing for 3 years. And yeah, it bore fruit. A lot of people got arrested that should have been. A lot of things were brought to light. But it unfortunately just didn't touch Donald Trump. But that's how it is. So you want to investigate Biden? If there's things there, go ahead. I'm not against an investigation when it comes to that. I'm not going to blindly defend anybody, be it a Democrat or a Republican. If you got beef there, you got beef there. And I think there's beef there. So I'm fine with that. You want to investigate him, you investigate him. But just because right now you think that there is corruption, or you think that this happened or this happened, until there's an investigation and it's all been brought out, proof and evidence, and we've made time to make a decision, that doesn't disqualify Biden for the presidency right now. And that's what I hear a lot of these people saying, is that this Hunter Biden story is enough to make it to where Joe Biden shouldn't be president. But we don't even really truly know the details of the Hunter Biden stuff. Some people know more than others, I'm sure, but until it comes to an investigation, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. You know, you don't go to prison before you get investigated. You know, you don't go to prison before you've had trial. And I think that they think, it's just a smear tactic. I know. And that's what I was saying originally, is this is a smear tactic, but they all do it. So that's just how it is. They're all like that. And there's only a handful of people, I think, that are in Congress that are actually have any integrity and are worth a shit. Most are not. So that is how I feel about the whole Hunter Biden thing. And, it does get old. It's this constant nonstop. It's the new Benghazi, And I was talking about earlier that Mitch McConnell has now pissed off all the Republicans, and they're all, throwing a fit because he managed to actually say President-elect, and so a parlor went off, and it was a big thing, and I've remembered I had forgotten that Mitch McConnell's wife is Chinese, and apparently the Republican MAGA people did not forget that. And so it's really good timing that all that happened for the Democrats, that is, not for Mitch McConnell, that now that the Republicans are blaming all of everything bad that happens in the Democrat Party on China, and that everything the Democrats are doing is all controlled by China. And now you've got the Senate Majority Leader whose wife is married to China, who's now, or somebody that's from China, and has pissed off all of the MAGA people. And so, of course, they're going to attack that. That's just really bad timing for Mitch McConnell. But I'd totally forgotten about that. But Mitch McConnell deserves everything bad that happens to him. So I don't feel sorry for him. I don't even know what's happening here with this dude getting fake beat up. But Dave Rubin posted it, so it can't be important. And then, of course, Rand Paul. Voter fraud happened. Shut up, Rand Paul. You don't know. Just get up there and run your mouth. You don't have a clue what's going on. And Dinesh, of course, he's still in denial. Dinesh is still telling everybody that there's a mathematical path to victory. Just a faux intellectual, just a child's mind in Dinesh. And then Loeffler, of course. And we see the other day that Kelly Loeffler had posed for pictures and his buddies with one of the KKK leaders. Big surprise there. So that was interesting. More Dave Rubin. Of course he's on Newsmax. Let's see. Yep. See, Fox News is already starting this China thing. This is just you're going to hear the word China about 14 gazillion times over the next 4 years. And it's going to be all over the place. That's all they're going to do. They're just going to lean into China. And that's going to be the downfall of the Democratic Party, they think. That they're all controlled. Let's see. What do we have? God, I hate Jim Jordan, but I hate Lou Dobbs just as much. Let's listen to this and see.
I've got to start.
Knowledge we can get.
Joining us now, Congressman Jim Jordan, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, House Oversight Committee. Congressman, good to have you with us. I've got to start with the advisory committees in San Francisco, and Lincoln just isn't enough of an American for them. What do you think of the Darlings?
They tried this same thing, Lou, at the University of Wisconsin, where I went to school, my wife went to school, or a bunch of our family went to school. They tried this same thing there, and thank goodness a few adults stepped in and said, no, we're not going to take down the Lincoln statue on Bascom Hill, which is this amazing place on the campus. So hopefully some rational people will overrule this crazy move that we see from California. And I always say...
Yeah, they're talking about here that the Lincoln High School, they're considering changing the name of that. I don't know. We're going too far. Going too far on that kind of stuff. I'm perfectly... You want to rip a statue down of some ex-slaver guy who was just an awful person, you know, or Christopher Columbus, and that's fine. I'm fine with that, because those, you know, but come on, man. We're going a step too far. Yeah, Hannity. I mean, Hannity's going to be it's just going to be, Hunter Biden's the new Benghazi, and that's just all it's going to be. Yeah, it's amazing to me that these Trumpers. Let's go take a look at the Stop the Steal. There's always quality there. It's amazing to me that these people still think that Donald Trump, I don't know, like, are they serious? Do they really think he's going to become president? I had somebody today tell me that there wasn't a chance in hell that Biden was ever going to step foot in the White House and he was never going to be president. With all seriousness. But the problem is, especially you'll see in this hashtag Stop the Steal, is most of these, and there's Sammy Davis Jr. again. We were talking about this guy on Chud Talk, he came up and was there, and I was like, man, if this dude is not at this rally in a Sammy Davis Jr. impersonator role, I'm just going to be pissed, because that guy is missing a perfect opportunity. He is a spitting image of Sammy Davis Jr. Let's look at this guy. I'm going to pull this up. I'm not that old. I'm sure most of the people that listen to this will know who that Sammy Davis Jr. is. So let's look at Sammy here and tell me that this guy doesn't look exactly like him. Well, I can't pull that up right there, but anyway, look at this, and then look at this guy. And tell me that that's not the same person.
50 states, so that this morning our country has officially...
And apparently, if I found out that no, unfortunately, he's not a Sammy Davis Jr. impersonator. He was an organizer for some Trump bullshit, some Republican garbage. So... Stop the steal. Most of these people are bots. You can tell that they're bots because I go in and, like, they'll say something really stupid. Let's look at the latest. Those are top, so those are all legit. Latest is where all the bots are at. You can see that a lot of times they just put these hashtags and they retweet something, or even, like, they'll have sentences or paragraphs, full tweets, and then I'll just put something extremely inflammatory and I'll do 10 or 15 of them and not a soul responds. I go back and look at every one just to make sure I'm not missing the notifications and nobody responds. They're all just bots, but there's a few dum-dums on here that are legit, you know, and they really think that he's still going to win. We won't accept the farce. Joe Biden doesn't want nothing. Oh my Lord, that actually may be a real person, because that is terrible. We're going to have to go in and give him a little copium. Time to cope. Anyway, I'll just post stupid shit like that and then nobody ever responds, so it's almost always bots. But I'm, like I said earlier, it's really petty that I just do this for fun, but for 4 years I've been taunted by these fucking Trumpers. Up until the inauguration, I'm fucking with Trumpers. That's all I'm doing. A lot of my videos are going to be about that, but as soon as this inauguration's over, we're going to forget about Trump totally. We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to talk about MAGA. We're just going to go ahead and move on to try and start pushing Joe Biden to the left, which is not going to happen, but we're going to try it anyway. So, well, folks, we did about 30 minutes tonight. I want to start doing an hour, I think, when I start when I figure out what time it is, and I'm going to come on every night if I can do that. And you know, I know I have a whole whopping 31 subscribers right now because I'm brand new. I just started November the 19th, so a little less than a month. But if anybody has any things they want to cover or anything whatsoever, just shoot it to me. All my social media stuff is right there. Should be right there on my on the screen underneath my video. And just shoot me a message. We'll, you know, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, we'll do it. And I'm going to start trying to build, you know, just a little following here and just share it to your friends. And I'm open to talking about just about anything. So I found, like I said, those few articles today, probably going to end the live stream. I was trying to do an hour, but don't have a whole lot to talk about that we really haven't already covered. So I think we're going to go ahead tonight and just call it a night. And we'll come back tomorrow, probably same time, 6, 7 o'clock if I can do it. I was trying to do 5. That's not going to work, I don't think. So we're going to try and do that 6 or 7 o'clock. So please, if you're new or if you're just watching, please subscribe and like and comment. I know you get tired of hearing that because every YouTuber does it and they beg for money and all that. Hey, I'm not begging for money. All I want you to do is subscribe and like and comment. It really does help me out. Gets me on that YouTube algorithm, and I might be able to get a video that has more than 30 or 40 likes. I did have one that had 1,000. It's the best I've done so far. But I think that was just good timing on my part. So anyway, I just want to thank y'all for stopping by, and subscribe, like, and comment. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Brandon Neal, and this is the Be Progressive Show. Thank you.